Welcome back, friends. iRelat here with a relationship Reddit story that I hope is not true, because based on the title, it's bad. Real bad. But this guy says, I was in a 10-year relationship that just crumbled in 1 week after this sick episode. Oh god. Yeah, it sounds pretty sick. I'm almost afraid of what we're about to hear. He says, we met when I was 19 and she was 16. Her father is the typical self-centered, entitled, narcissistic egomaniac. Oh my god, he's going on and on. Narcissistic egomaniac that thinks the world revolves around him. He was poor when he was young and built an empire with his real estate business. He's very old-fashioned and is always bragging about how every woman he meets will give him attention and how he tried to hit on every woman he can. Even in front of his wife he does this. There was an episode of him even trying to hit his sister-in-law, and they almost ended their marriage for this, but her mother is so dumb and easy. Does he mean to say hit on his sister-in-law? He said hit her. I think he means hit on her. Mother is so dumb and easily manipulated by his money and influence that he handled the situation and nothing happened. The guy is a complete POS. The dad was always really controlling towards her and his wife. He's the ultimate level of a misogynistic pig. He never let his wife have a life, work, or do what she wants. She's the most unhappy person I know. Her only real friends are her 2 dogs. During the case with his sister-in-law, her mother went nuts about this and was really convinced to leave him. But then she kept saying that he has the best lawyers and he would have left her without a penny in the misery if she left him. Yeah, right. Regardless of his lawyer, she would have made out like a bandit if he's that wealthy, especially if she doesn't work. You guys have no idea what I went through with this guy and his family for 10 years. I was the one who brought some light to my ex's life because he wanted the same for her, to find a husband who would keep her at home, but I supported her and encouraged her to study. Today she's a veterinarian. Oh, that's good. So now that you know the backstory, here's where things get crazy. And to this day, I am still traumatized by this. 2 weeks ago, we were set to meet at her dad's office like we do every Sunday. We keep one of our dogs in the house where her family business works. It's a mid-sized dog that doesn't mix well with our other dogs, so we have a shed for him there with all the comfort he needs, and every day one of us goes there to check on him when the office is closed. On this day, we were set to meet there at 3 p.m. after having lunch with our families. But this day was a bit different. I have a feeling it's going to be real different. I got there like 15 minutes earlier because I live closer than her. We both have the keys, so I opened the main gate and went to the back of the house where the dogs live. But right before, in the middle of the house, there are 2 guest bathrooms and I noticed one of the lights was on. I could hear some moaning noises and laughing before opening the door. Her dad usually brings ladies of the night there, so I thought this was the case, but when I peeked through the gap in the door, I saw something horrible. Her dad was in there completely drunk, kneeling on the floor, while my girl was sitting on the sink facing him, letting him do the most disgusting thing you could imagine. Ew, that is disgusting. That has to be one of the most horrifying things you could possibly walk in on. Oh my god, that's awful. This raises a lot of questions, but anyway, he continues. They didn't see me and I ran back to the main gate, flabbergasted. I couldn't even breathe for some minutes. My mind went everywhere and I almost tripped down from dizziness. Yeah, I'd say. I would have passed out. I felt my stomach was about to explode. 10 years down the drain, this is what you walk into? I felt a mix of anger and panic and a desire to go there and catch them in the act, but got some reason back into me and I knew if I did this, we would have a fight scene to handle. Why would he try to fight you? Man, I guess unless you attacked him, but what the heck? So I contained myself, slammed the gate, and started to call the dog as if I was just arriving there and looking for it. I could hear the running noises coming from the back, and when I went there she was already playing with the dog, pretending she was playing catch with him. Her dad went upstairs to his office, something that I'd never seen him do on a Sunday since the business is closed on Sundays. She was all sweaty and avoiding eye contact, and oh, so gross. And when I asked what happened, she said nothing, with the most poker face I've ever seen. Yep, some are good at lying. She was still in her bathing suit and both had just come back from the beach. When I saw the lights on, I asked why, and she told me that her dad was there to get some papers. He was there to get something. In 10 years, I never saw this guy not even one day going to his office on a Sunday. Well, you did one day, and today's that day. The guy is a complete POS that I hate even more after this insane situation. Yeah. I would have pretty negative feelings towards him too. Plus, this also brings up the question of how long has this been going on and, what might he have done to your girlfriend back when she was young. That's probably when this started, which is sick. We went home and didn't see each other for a couple of days. Then she called me all hysterical, saying she wants to show me something, and when I got there, her father gave her a brand new car. He paid her off. I'm done with this crazy family. I told her I need to visit my mother. She lives on the other side of the country and I'm not going back. I already have a couple of interviews scheduled for jobs and I just want to move forward and forget this mess. Yeah, I would need to torch my eyeballs. The trauma is big. I find myself crying all the time. Oh man, yeah, 10 years. But I'm happy I figured this out and I'm not wasting my life with these sickos anymore. Holy cow, could you imagine one day your entire world just gets flipped upside down? Your girl that you've been with for a decade, you find out she's this type of person? Good lord, who could have seen this coming? There's not even any advice to give here other than perhaps you should get some therapy because this was a doozy. I mean, as far as being scarred from past relationships, this is like a double whammy. Or hopefully somebody just made this up and it's not even real. If this story's true, even though it's sick and this girl betrayed the guy who wrote this, you gotta imagine that she probably has some major issues caused by her dad from a while back. So in a way, I have almost as much sympathy for her, if not more, than I do for the guy who wrote this. And even though this guy just wants to move on and completely forget about them because he's scarred by this, he might want to talk to her and try to help her get therapy because just letting her continue this, she obviously has been messed up. I mean, she needs help. For sure. And there's a good chance this dad belongs in jail. Although this poster does say in the comments that if he did try to confront her about it, she'd probably just take the dad's side, which, given how warped her mind is, he's probably right. But anyway, if it is real, good luck, my friend. Hopefully he can recover from this. And what do you all think of this crazy situation? Tell us your opinion below, and we got another story coming up here. So this next story isn't quite as crazy as the last one, but what could be? This was written by a guy who doesn't say his age, but he was with his girlfriend for 8 years and he was having problems with her that I hope aren't as bad as the last story. He says, "She was my first girlfriend, my best friend, and the only person I could ever see myself with. Because of this, she was the only person in the world who could truly break my heart. And this is exactly what she did. Throughout those 8 years, I caught her entangled in many affairs, with both men and women." Oh man, she was getting around. "This guy already strikes me as the type who has self-esteem issues and obsesses over his girlfriend to the point where he lets her walk all over him." But let's see what he says. "And each time she left me for someone else, I welcomed her back into my life with open arms." Wait, she would leave you for other people and then you would welcome her back? I mean, bro. This obviously shows off the bat that you have no self-respect. But he continues. "I loved the idea of her so much that I didn't see beyond reason, no matter what anyone else said." Yeah, that's how they always are, blinded by love. I always talk about this. "She was the love of my life. Why would I listen to them? I don't know, maybe because your girlfriend's a skank and she's leaving you to go get it in with random other people? God, she was so mean to me too. Too incredibly mean that I used to cry in the shower nearly every day because of the way she spoke and treated me. Despite all of her flaws, she was still who I wanted." What? This guy's in the shower crying? I mean, I know I'm gonna catch flack or get thumbs down on this video for not having sympathy here, but come on man, you're crying in the shower, be a man. The type of men who cry in the shower because their girlfriend said some mean stuff are the ones who get cheated on. Why am I not even surprised? Instead of crying in the shower, just leave. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but eventually you gotta get your head on straight. He says, "Everything shifted 6 months ago when she finally saw a therapist, which I've been asking her to do for years, to help her deal with her past traumas in life." It's always the chicks with the past traumas. "This is why I always stayed with her for so long. You were a white knight? That's a mistake. I justified my behavior by telling myself deep inside her soul she was a good person who just needed a little push to heal. Nope, she was a bad person. You just were blinded by love, like you said. Suddenly she became this person I didn't know. She was kinder, sweeter, more open. This went on for weeks until she forgot her appointment and couldn't see her therapist for 2 more weeks. In between those days, being with her felt like I was in hell. Jesus, she misses a couple of therapy appointments and suddenly she's ruining your life again? This chick must have some deep-seated issues. That's why I always say, avoid chicks with issues, man. It's just not worth it. She would scream at me for things like not taking the trash out. I was doing the dishes when she asked. And for not folding the laundry. I worked 10 hours a day. Unsurprisingly, I cried so much because I finally told her to shut up and I was sick of the way she treated me. We ended up crying our hearts out all night and she apologized so many times. What the hell? This is so much drama. This relationship needs to end. After that, I wasn't the same. I realized she was always going to be the terrible person I couldn't see myself dealing with for the rest of my life, so I packed my bags while she was at work and flew back to my home country. Oh, I wonder where this guy's from. I miss her so much and I feel bad. You feel bad? The hell? It hurts to know that I hurt her too, but this time I'm choosing myself. I deserve peace in life. Yeah, what the hell, bro? I mean, this is how you want to live the rest of your life, getting yelled at because you didn't take the trash out and crying in the shower. I mean, that might be a you problem, but this does not sound like a good life. Hopefully there's a good woman in your country, whatever that is. Then down in the comments, some girl says to him, I spent 10 years in a relationship like this and it's been 8 years now since I left, and I still sometimes get hit with intense feelings of, holy cow, how did I put up with that for so long? The more time passes, the more awful I realize it was. Then he responds, this is honestly how I feel right now. How did I let her get away with treating me like that for so long? I feel like part of it was my fault for allowing her to do those things. You think? I'm losing more sympathy with this guy the more I read. Sorry to hit you with the harsh truth, but it's mostly your fault. Even in this post, you're saying that you miss her, love her, and you're sorry that you hurt her. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since you left her, but good lord, man, get over it. Have some self-respect. I mean, I suppose I do have some sympathy for this guy, because I know these situations can be hard, but the type of guy who would cry in the shower regularly is the same kind of guy I would imagine being in this situation long term. So I know it sounds cliche or a bunch of other terms that people are going to throw at me, but bro, you gotta man up. So then someone asked if she tried to contact him and he said he's not sure, that she tried to contact his family but they don't speak much English and he's not interested in reading what she had to say. And that is the right attitude to have. Just move on, ignore and forget her, and don't fall back into this situation with the next girl you meet. No more chicks with issues. But anyway, good on this guy for moving on with his life. What do you all think? Tell your opinions down in the comments. Thanks to anyone who subscribed, clicked like, or shared this video. My contact info's below, and definitely join my Discord if you want to chat with me or other people about these types of topics. It's free and the link's in the description. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.